Okay, just as I promised, we're going to get into a video that pays tribute to the bands that played at the MASQUE in Los Angeles, California, and there were two MASQUEs, I believe. One on Cherokee and the other one on Santa Monica Boulevard. I think after the Cherokee one burned to the ground. Well, it didn't burn to the ground, but there was a fire there, so they had to move. Anyway, the MASQUE was underground practice space, place for bands to play in the late 70s, and I have some records of bands who actually played there. Here we go. But before we get into the records, there are these things. Okay, this is a Blu-ray edition of a film made by High Times magazine called DOA, The Rite of Passage, and it's a documentary of, I guess, punk rock around 1979, 1980, and it, I guess, follows the Sex Pistols through their first US tour, but that's only like half of the movie. The other half of the movie is dedicated to English bands. So they wanted this to be a Sex Pistols movie, but they just didn't get enough footage because Warner Brothers was giving them static. So they had to fill it in with bands from the UK like Generation X and people like that. The Billy Idol. Yeah, Billy Idol was in Generation X, wasn't he? Anyway, trying to remember. I don't have any Generation X records. Anyway, this movie has to do with the MASQUE as far as the very first part of it, like the introduction, when they have Iggy Pop singing Nightclubbin'. The footage is from the MASQUE. The outside footage and the footage that, like, they're going through a basement or this underground place, that's the MASQUE in this thing. So if you want to see the MASQUE when it was open and people like Darby Crash and the Weirdos were hanging out there, you won't see them in this movie. I can't remember who you see in this movie that, you know, a punk rocker might recognize, but this movie has footage of the MASQUE on a show night. As far as like the hallways of the MASQUE, it doesn't show like the main area where the bands would perform. And it's pretty good. And this bootleg version of DOA, the reason why you'd want to get this is because it has a tribute to Sid by Johnny Thunders called Sad Vacation. And it's Johnny Thunders singing a little song about Sid Vicious's death that isn't on this official version. So get the official and get this Japanese bootleg of it, which will play on your player, or at least it plays on mine. Okay, so this is the part of the video where if you want to see the MASQUE in Hollywood, California, you're gonna have to buy this thing. I don't know if there's any other footage of the MASQUE as far as like the hallways and kids hanging out and drinking and talking on the street other than this documentary. All right, let's get into the records. This first record is Giza X and the Mommy Men, and it's called You Goddamn Kids. This is the Dionysus version with the 2 extra songs on it. Those songs are RX, Rock and Roll, and Pony Ride 1. And then it's just the regular release of the album as far as songs go. And this is a copy I picked up in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's pretty beat up. But anyway, this is an original copy of this re-release. And the re-release has the same songs except for 2 extra. And the cover is a little darker. This band played at the MASQUE. Giza X produced Dead Kennedy Records, and he produced Black Flag Records and many others. And this record is one of the greatest things. In fact, I'm playing it now. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm playing it now. It's got such memorable songs on it. It is just unforgettable, especially songs like The Paranoids, Mean Mr. Mommy Man, I Hate Punks. The song I Hate Punks is one of the best punk rock songs I've ever heard. It's right up there with Holiday in Cambodia. The lyrics are so funny. We Need More Power. That's a great one. Hungarian. Isotope Soap. The song from this artist that you heard on the Let 'Em Eat Jelly Beans compilation. Anyway, this is the new vinyl of Giza X and the Mommy Men, You Goddamn Kids. And this is the old vinyl. Anyway, can't say enough good things about Giza X and the Mommy Men. Alright, let's put these away because we have many more records to go through. Alright. And there'll be a surprise at the end of this video. Alright, this is a band that played at the MASQUE, and they played at the new MASQUE when they had to switch locations due to a fire. This is Black Flag, and they played, I think, just once at the MASQUE as far as my research goes. But Black Flag played at the MASQUE. And believe it or not, the Dead Boys played at the new MASQUE. They did one show. I really wish there was footage from that show, but there isn't. But there is a flyer for the Dead Boys, and I don't know who else played with them. Probably MASQUE regulars. Okay, and this dude also played at the MASQUE. This is Black Randy and the Metro Squad, and they were at the MASQUE several times. And yeah, this is an original 7-inch. I can't even remember when I bought this thing. Anyway, Black Randy played at the MASQUE. And he also appeared on a television movie with a guy that was a character on Barney Miller several times, and he was this, I call him a Barney Miller character. He was trying to sell Black Randy and the Metro Squad to these like new waivers or something like that, and one of the, I guess the new wave guy attacked Black Randy. Anyway, you can look it up on YouTube. But Black Randy and the Metro Squad played at the MASQUE. Alright. This is not the rarest version in this album, but it doesn't matter. The rare version, this version, they all sound the same. This is the Bags, Alice Bags Band, Patricia Bags Band, and who else was in this? Craig Lee was in this band. The drummer from the Gun Club was in this band, and this record is out of sight. If you're into Los Angeles punk rock, this record is a must, and this band played at the Masque several times. They also played a show where Nicky Beat from the Weirdos, he was Alice Bagg's boyfriend, and Tom Waits, of all people, was trying to, I guess, pick up or molest the lead singer of this band, Alice Bagg, and there was a fight between him and the drummer for the Weirdos. I really don't know how that turned out. It probably really wasn't a fight, but anyway, that's a little bit of information. All right, this is Eddie and the Subtitles. I don't know if they ever played at the Masque, but it sure seems like they would have. And this record, if you have the 7-inch of Eddie and the Subtitles, you kind of have this record. This thing is not really necessary if you have the 7-inch, but it does show more artwork, and the artwork is bigger. All right. Now here's a band that everybody knows and loves, and everybody knows that they played at the Masque. I'm not going to say anything about this record. That would be painfully redundant. All right, let's move on to bands that aren't so well known. All right, the Zeros. They played at the Masque. And on the back of this LP, there's a picture of the marquee for probably the Whiskey or maybe the Starwood. And it says Punk Rock Saturday Night, the Weirdos, the Zeros, and the Germs. But I'm sure that's not from the Masque. But anyway, this band played at the Masque, and they do a version of Pushing Too Hard by the Seeds that is undeniably great. So if you don't know about the Weirdos, check them out. They're not a waste of your time. All right. And here's a soundtrack from a movie called The Decline of the Western Civilization, and a couple of these bands played at the Masque, like X, Alice Bagg, the Baggs, and the Germs, Black Flag, X. Well, hell, X is on here twice. Anyway, if you buy this record, you get a live recording of We're Desperate by X that is unmatched. And you know what? I don't know if Catholic Discipline, which is a Kickboy Face band, he was one of the writers for Slash, I don't know if they ever played at the Masque. I don't remember seeing any flyers of them playing at the Masque. All right. This is Danger House, Volume 1, with X, the Dills, the Eyes, the Bags, Rhino 39, the Alley Cats, the Deadbeats, the Weirdos, the Randoms, the Avengers, Black Randy, and the Metro Squad, all of these bands on this Danger House compilation played at the Masque. And this is the holiest of holies, the Weirdos. And they were probably the best band to come out of the Masque. And this is a compilation of their early stuff. And to have been at one of the Masque shows when these guys were playing would have been out of sight. I did see the weirdos at like punk rock bowling and stuff like that, but it was only like 2 of the original members. It was still good. I still had fun, but it wasn't like 1978. All right. And here's a famous band from the Mask, and it is the Germs. And they were, I guess, staples of the Mask. And they did, well, I don't know how many shows they did there, maybe 4 or 5. But anyway, to see the Germs at the Mask, that would have been out of sight. Let's put this back in here, all the memorabilia. Okay, and believe it or not, the Dead Kennedys played at the Mask. They played at the new Mask with the Germs. And like I said, to have, or like I keep saying, to have footage of the Germs and the Dead Kennedys show at the new Mask on Santa Monica Boulevard would have been out of sight. But I don't think it exists. Maybe somebody will dig it up and put it on YouTube. But the Dead Kennedys played at the Mask. All right, here's the big time. The Cramps played at the new Mask, and I think they played with either the Germs or the Dead Kennedys. But anyway, the Cramps played a show at the new Mask right before it was like closed down. The Brendan Mueller guy lost interest in it, or he didn't have enough money to keep it open, so he closed it down. But before he closed it down, the Cramps played at the Mask. All right, here we go. The Deadbeats. They also played at the Mask. Probably many shows. And they're a wild little punk rock band with Giza X. And I think Giza X is the only standout that was in the Deadbeats. Anyway, Deadbeats played at the Mask. All right, here we go. They just keep coming. The Dills. The Dills played at the Mask. Now, there's a band that I forgot to dig out that played at the Mask, so I'm just going to mention them. The Avengers, which I do have 2. I have 2 Avengers records. The Avengers from San Francisco with Penelope Houston played at the Mask. Even though I don't have the record to show, like right here and now, I'd have to go over there to get it. The Avengers played at the Mask, so count them in too. Okay, are you ready? The Dickies. The Dickies played at the Mask, probably several times. Can you imagine seeing a Dickies, Germs, Skulls, and the Deadbeats line up at that small little club underneath a pornography theater? Okay, and here is the record that I said I wasn't going to show until this video. Well, I'm showing it now. This record is Demos 1977 to 78. The Screamers. They were a very important band for the Mask Underground Club in Hollywood. And also, this record is a very, very important documentary of late 70s punk rock in Los Angeles. Before, I guess, the jocks and the people from Huntington Beach kind of took over and kind of stripped the art from punk rock and put in the aggressive hardcore, which I'm a fan of the hardcore. I don't mind that at all, but I do miss the art part of punk rock. We ain't finished. Here we go. This is a compilation album from What Records, and this is called What Stuff. And this thing has the Germs, the Dills, and the Eyes. What makes this record important is the songs by the Eyes. Don't Talk to Me and Kill Your Parents by the Eyes are the reason why you'd want to buy this thing. And the Eyes, I think it had a member of the Go-Go's, and also the Go-Go's played at the Mask, but I don't have one of their records. I really should seek out an early Go-Go's record, maybe next payday. Anyway, this thing also has the Skulls and the Controllers, two great LA bands that I don't have records of, and I really need to fix that. I don't think any other of the bands on this thing played at the Mask, but I do know that the Controllers, the Skulls, the Eyes, the Germs, the Dills played at the Mask, and they're all on this record. And I saved the best for last. Believe it or not, I kind of try to organize these videos. Okay, this is live from the Mask. And this thing has the Germs, the Bags, the Weirdos, the Eyes, the Dickies, F Word, the Alley Cats, the Zeros, the Randoms, Black Randy and the Metro Squad. And this is a compilation of recordings from the Mask in fabulous Hollywood, California. Okay, so that was my tribute to the Mask Club in Hollywood, California that spawned so many great bands. And remember, this movie has footage of the bowels of the Mask Club. So if you want to see it, punch it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's there, or you can buy this fabulous DVD that I think it comes with. Oh boy, we're going to show you this. It comes with 2 DVDs. There's a picture of Sid Vicious, and this is a little booklet that it comes with telling all about the movie and pictures from the Sex Pistols tour, and it also comes with this poster. Sex Pistols 1975 to 1978. And this movie has footage of the Mask when it was open, the older Mask. It's not the new one. I did the research, and this thing, the footage on it is from the original Mask on Cherokee. Anyway, has footage of the Mask when people were there and bands were playing there, and it's really too bad that the people doing the filming of, you know, like the little hallways and all the little, I guess, mouse mazes that you had to go through to get to the main room. It's too bad they didn't stick around for a couple of days and film some of the bands that played there. Anyway, all right, that's it. I'm hoping that I'm the very first person to ever do a video praising the Mask in Hollywood, California. Okay, goodbye.